about it. Get your copies while they last. Stop the presses.
And now for something completely different.
There are no safe spaces here. The truth shall make you free. So you want the truth, but can you handle the truth? And what did we learn? Well, here's another fine mess you've gotten us into.
The Craig L. Hayes Show, Just Thinking, where we talk about everything else. Well, hello, America, family and friends, listeners all around the planet we call home. This is the Craig L. Hayes Show, Just Thinking, and it is the 9th of January 2026, coming to you live. We're recording you live, being recorded live, from the Northern Command Center here in Enterprise, Utah. And let me see, what else should I tell you about real quick here? Please go see my other two podcasts, one called It's Showtime, the Craig L. Hayes Show, where we talk about nothing but entertainment. That's what it's all about. The other one is called Main Street, the Craig L. Hayes Show, where we talk about, well, we interview actually people, just everyday people, what it takes to make a community live, breathe, survive, thrive, all that fun stuff. But that's what that one is all about. Today's topic, and probably going to catch some flack on this one, is called the inevitable. We're going to call it capitalism, or the collapse is inevitable. Now, not trying to be Debbie Downer over here, but we've got some serious issues on the horizon that we have to be paying attention to. We have to talk about. We have to sit there and say, they're happening. These things are happening, and this is why. We didn't learn a damn thing in 2008. Remember 2008? Seems like it was a long time ago. It was about 18 years ago when the housing market, which had been going crazy for so long, booming and going berserk, all of a sudden it collapsed in on itself. Greed is one factor in that, and government interference in the free market is another factor in that. And that's probably the biggest factor, that governments interfered in the natural process of a free market and capitalism. The capitalism that we're going to talk about today, and we have a lot of people out there, usually from people from colleges and stuff like that have been taught by their Marxist professors on how bad capitalism is and how much greater communism is. And these kids have not had anybody telling them, your professor's full of crap. Your professor is teaching you stuff that is going to destroy your life and everybody else around you that you care about. Unfortunately, we have too many of those people that are running around in society. I am 100% in for a free market capitalist society. I don't recognize in any way, shape, or form the form of government that we call capitalism today. I do know, however, that it's going to collapse in on itself. Not trying to be Debbie Downer again, just trying to let you know it cannot survive the way it's been being manipulated. Well, Craig, how can you say that? People are free to go buy things. They're free to go get whatever they want to. True. But is that capitalism? Or is capitalism what we've been living under for the last 18 years since George W. Bush sold us out? The system of capitalism, he sold it out. It is certainly not anything that I recognize today. Remember him saying, I have to end capitalism to save capitalism? No, capitalism will save itself. But people who love big government, that's what they got. And so they pumped in almost $1 trillion into saving the economy, so-called saving the economy. And then they wrote a 500, remember Dodd-Frank, the Dodd-Frank bill? They wrote 500 more pages of laws governing banking that would fix it, that would stop this ever happening again. The mortgage companies and stuff and the banks and investors could not go in there and distort the market again. They couldn't do it. It's going to be stopped. We are saved. All is awesome. All is well. Because we wrote 500 pages worth of regulations, added to the thousands of pages that are already there. You know, this is how stupid people are when something happens. They go, if we write some more laws, that'll fix it. Well, let me see. We've had murder has been illegal since the dawn of time. And there's, if you look around the world, probably tens of thousands of laws criminalizing murder. But every time someone gets into a shooting or anything like that where people are killed, the first thing everyone says, we need more laws on the book. Do you see how stupid this is? Do you see how stupid these people are? All we learned in 2008, and all the banks learned, the only thing that they learned, and investors such as BlackRock, I think it's BlackRock, isn't it? I think it's BlackRock, learned is that if you take a huge risk and you make a lot of money, it's good for you because you can continue giving donations to politicians that want to help you out and keep you going. But if you take a risk and invest lots of money into a project, such as lots of mortgages, and the market tanks, these companies all know that they can just go to the federal government and says, hey, you need to bail us out. That's not capitalism. That's crony capitalism. It's who you know. That has nothing to do with the capitalist society that we understand. Or how about if we call it privileged capitalism? Privileged ownership. How about if we call it a complete distortion of the market where there is no risk? There has to be risk in a capitalist system. There also has to be reward and failure. But risk has to be there. You cannot run capitalism without risk, reward, and failure. And no government intercepting the bad times. I don't understand why we all think we have to take and bail out companies that do stupid stuff and then expect to be handed huge checks for billions and billions of dollars to bail them out when they make stupid mistakes. We need to stop that. We need to end these things. We got to quit allowing businesses, corporations, to succeed on their own, and failure is our problem. Yeah, you guys all get rich when things are going good. Then when things go bad, you go run right to the federal government and say, you got to bail us out. You got to help us. I'm not for bailouts. I'm not for loans. I'm not for anything from the federal government. It's not something they should be participating in. It's nothing we should be doing. It's such an aberrant thing to be doing. And I'm telling you right now, it is going to be part of the reason this country is going to collapse. Our economic system is going to collapse. It's going to collapse. We're $38 trillion in debt, number one. Number two, we have crony capitalism or preferred, or how we say it, privileged ownership of companies. As long as you know the right guys in Washington, D.C., you can't make a mistake. That has to end. That has to stop. It has to be made plain and simple. We're not giving you guys any money. You make stupid mistakes, then you guys get to eat it. Your shareholders get to eat it. No more bailouts. No more what was it? Too big to fail. That was the term. I was trying to remember that. Too big to fail. We can't have that. No company is too big to fail. I don't care how many dollars in assets you have at your disposal. You're not too big to fail. You can fail just like everybody else because you make bad decisions. And when you fail, your board of directors, the people who own stock in you, they all get to lose lots of money. Or maybe they end up in jail because they did something fraudulently. That would be a concept, wouldn't it? Having some kind of accountability for making stupid mistakes, stupid ideas, stupid things. We've got to get merit back into the system. We're at our 250th year as a nation. We're only, 6 months away, 7 months away? 6 months away. It's January, February, March, April, May, June, July. So we're 6 months. In 6 more months, we will celebrate our 250th anniversary. Did you know that the average existence of an empire, now this is taken into account of all kinds of different empires, from the Roman Empire was almost 1,000, it was like 800 years, whatever it was. You had the Greek, a lot shorter than that, not even 100 years. You have other empires that come and go, and they don't last but 50 years, 100 years. But then you have ones like the Egyptian Empire, which lasted, 1,000, 2,000 years, the longest lasting. Many different types of pharaohs from different kingdoms, from different families. But the whole thing comes down to it. The average, if they put it all together, is about 250 years when nations finally fall apart under the weight of their own stupidity. It just so happens that 2026, July 4th, 2026 is 250 years. And I think a collapse is inevitable. Not because of totally stupid stuff, but because that's the way the World Economic Forum and other parts like the United Nations would love to have a collapse, a world financial collapse. And then everybody would have to go on to a central bank digital currency, and everybody would be tracked on everything and anything they did with their debit card or whatever card you want to call it. This is where we're headed. Banks supporting privileged not the banks, government supporting banks that make stupid mistakes, and corporations that make stupid mistakes. But you have to eat it. You lose your house if you make a stupid mistake. You lose your car if you made a stupid mistake. because you don't have direct access to politicians back in Washington, D.C. that can take and just pour money into your coffers to support you and shore you up. We have to get that out of the system. Same rules apply to me as should apply to BlackRock. I don't care that they have trillions of dollars under their control and buying houses and properties and investments like you can't believe. They should have no more power or have to live under the exact same rules as you or I do. When we make a mistake, we have to figure a way out of it. They don't. We need to get back antitrust regulations back into things. We have to look at these companies and businesses that are doing things that we can't have monopolies, people. We can't have people fixing the market for their own benefit. President Trump deciding he wants to take and put a law out there saying that corporations can't buy up housing and such like that. Because it's making the price of houses too expensive for first-time homeowners. Well, that's not the role of the federal government. But the role of the federal government should be to say, well, excuse me, I had to take some water. My throat was scratchy. Anyways, the role of the federal government should be to say, hey, you corporations that are buying up all these houses, that's fine. It's fine and dandy that you're doing that. But if the market collapses, the real estate market collapses, and you're holding trillions of dollars worth of houses that are now worth a couple $100 billion, period, there's no bailout for you. And if there's a whole bunch of you companies that are doing this stuff, we're going to look at you as you guys manipulating the market and put you under antitrust laws and probably break you up too. There's things that the federal government can do to make sure that the little guy isn't being overrun by corporations, and it doesn't break the capitalist system by doing it. It strengthens it by putting accountability into it, by putting merit into it, by putting profit and loss into it, back into it the way it's supposed to be. Crony capitalism, it's got to go. Privileged ownership, privileged anything just because you have a lot of money has to be taken out of the system. And government oversight in things should be limited to making sure that the market is being run fair. And that there's nobody that's manipulating it and nobody that's taking unfair advantage of situations. So that's where we stand on a couple things with me today on this very cold and snowy. Well, snow will be gone pretty soon once it warms up enough. Not a lot of snow out there. But this is where we stand. If we don't take and fix a few things in this country and get things realigned, and it's never going to happen, the country will not get fixed if Democrats are in charge or in power. They add to the problem. They don't fix the problem. They only add to the problem. Because they want to see it collapsed too. They, like the United Nations and the World Economic Forum, want to see everything collapse where it's the government takes over and runs, and there's a dictator, basically government, controlling your lives. That is like orgasm heaven for Democrats, socialists, Marxists, communists. that things change and turn into a dictatorship, basically. That's not our system, though. And we have to fight to protect our system. We got to fight so that they don't get what they want. We got to make sure the World Economic Forum that is destroying Europe and other parts of the world don't have claim on America. And thank heaven we have Donald Trump, who doesn't believe in the World Economic Forum or the United Nations. Pray for that guy to keep him safe. He's got 3 more years of work to do, and hopefully in that 3 years he can take and fix a few things in this country. Not going to get everything fixed. That's almost an impossibility. And unless your name is Jesus Christ. Then you could fix it real quick. Well, folks, all I can say about that, or should I say that's all I have to say about that, is stay strong. Prepare yourselves for a collapse. Do you have from Patriot Supply a year's supply of food for your family? Do you have non-cash assets? Gold, some silver, some platinum, whatever, some real assets to help you get through the tough times. If you don't, then please, folks, look at some of these things and figure that you may have to use these sooner than you think. I would hope not, but I think we have about a year, less than a year maybe. 2027, I think, is going to be a rough year. And I encourage you to get some stuff taken care of and get yourself protected in any way, shape, or form that you see fit and you're guided by the Spirit. Ask God for help. Let Him tell you what you need to do for you and your family to protect them from what I believe in an inevitable collapse. And it'll be a good year or two before we get things back online and get things running again. Protect yourself, folks. Stay strong, stay conservative, stay constitutionalist, and confront those forces that want to take and violate that. So, folks, do what you can, and until then, you've been listening to the Craig L. Hayes Show, Just Thinking.